Welcome to the start of a new series on this channel, and this one is about me restarting GTA Online with a brand new character, as you can see right here on the screen. Even calls herself new character, she needs a name, but we'll get to that. I hope you like her because we are going to spend a lot of time with her. Yes, indeed. I just love it, I can move her head around, it's funny. But yeah, so before we get into anything, I should explain the series to you because it's not just a straight up let's play or anything. I want to make it like a mix of a light let's play where I don't really show everything, but I will show a few important things like what to do for stats and stuff like that, a few tricks here and there, and maybe a bit of a grinding, but not just going to repeat the same mission over and over again. I'm just gonna do that off screen or maybe in a live stream or something if I feel like it. But I will give you the most important beats of the story and also explain a few tricks here and there, what to consider and stuff like that. And yeah, that will hopefully get me somewhere in the game with this character. So yeah, I don't really have a set goal yet. The thing about the game, as I see it right now, you can basically get anything you want. If you see one of those flying death bites that will likely kill you more often than not in an open session, you can get one of those. I guarantee you that's in your reach. It's going to be difficult, but it's not impossible. If you want to get, like, I don't know, underground bunker with a death laser, that can be arranged. It's not necessarily the most useful thing to ever buy, and it will cost a lot to fire the stupid thing, but you could get to that theoretically. If you want like a monster truck in the arena fully outfitted, you could get there. The thing is, you can get any of those items and or anything in the same price range, which is really on the top range the game has to offer. Maybe a yard. Again, something that I wouldn't necessarily even touch. You could get that, but you cannot get all of it. Not anymore. I've been playing the game on and off since the game came out. I have most things in on my main character, which I started back then, and I could get a lot of other things that I still don't have, which I don't necessarily want to have, like the yard. But for a new character, it's highly unlikely you will ever get to that unless you make this your main game for the next few years, and this is not what this series is about. But getting somewhere, definitely possible. So that out of the way, a few things that are important. I'm not gonna use any of the money for my main character. That's gonna be separate. I'm also, of course, not gonna buy just any shark cards or the starter pack. The starter pack is a bit of a scam, anyways, in my eyes. So definitely not worth the money. And two things are really important in this game. First up, of course, since I played the game for years, I have a few more skills than I would have if I was just starting out here. So yeah, I have a bit of an advantage, but I'm gonna try to not just go for races also, which I can likely do a bit better than the average person. I'm going to try to somehow balance it, but if there's something with double or triple money, like in this case, I'm going to be using that, at least for me personally. And likely also going to make a video about it, explaining a few of the things. Um, so that's skill advantage is one thing that I have, and one other thing, and that's also what I'm trying to convey here, is advantage of knowledge. I know a lot of this game. I know which items to not go for, and that's already quite important because suddenly a lot of the things that you would try to buy, would save up for, they aren't important, and if you know that, you can already save a lot of money there. And yeah, I'm not gonna go through everything, but just note that there are a few things that really aren't important. And I'm going to start explaining some of the go-to items for the first few levels in the next video, I guess. So yeah, now let's get into it with the stats, because there are a few things that we can do here. We always get like a standard stat distribution, and we can actually take away some of the experience here and redistribute it how we see fit. Usually, since this is a game that heavily involves driving and shooting, you would expect people to level that. Other thing is, since you will be doing a lot of that, you will also level it up naturally quite a lot. Things like, especially strength, which you can usually just yeah, increase by by punching people and stuff. That's a pain in the ass to ever get up. So I'm just gonna max it out here as far as I can. So that's just giving me a bit of a head start here. Same is for stealth, not shooting, but stamina. And let's just put the rest into lung capacity so we can dive for longer. If you want to just level that, we can easily just go for a dive here and there, and that's how you get that up. But this is a good way to start, I think, because yeah, the stuff where you just go into a specific vehicle and use it for a while or just shoot people down, that's gonna go up by itself. It's nothing to worry about. So yeah, save and continue. I think I'm gonna call her Cheryl. Usually I need to spend a lot of time thinking about a name or so, but of course I thought about that before, and otherwise it would be really boring. So next up is the tutorial. Honestly, you don't learn anything useful here. You will end up, instead of just spawning in without anything apart from a gun, you will get like 3000 and a few useless missions, and it's not really worth it that much. The stuff that you learn isn't really representative, and really they don't really teach you any useful skills, so we are just going to say yes to skip it. That the game already tells you, do you want to skip it instead of do you want to do the tutorial, it should kinda tell you a lot. Also, yeah, you are just going to end up in a public session, and that's gonna be one of my first tips. Never go into a public session. I'm usually just avoiding them like the plague that they really are. So yeah, let's wait until we are loaded in, because we can't do anything else. We will apparently just go in at a random spot in the city. This is our character starting out with a headshot, because why not? Leave GTA Online, which will put us into a single player. There's also something that you should do when booting up the game. You go right into single player. Not just into GTA Online, not into any playlist, you go into single player first. So depending on what you want to do, you will either now go into, first of course, play GTA Online, and then either invite session or close crew or close friends session. I usually go invite only, and I invite people to that from there. Otherwise, if you go into a friend session, you can just have friends join you, which is also quite practical. But the main thing is that if you're doing any jobs that happen in their own lobby, and not just in free roam as it is right now, after those missions are done, you can either do additional missions, or sometimes it will just throw you back into free roam, or if you want to go for a completely different type of mission, you will have to go back into free roam anyways. And if you go into an invite-only session, you will end up in an invite-only session. Maybe with the people you started the last session out with, but it will definitely not put you into another session with 20 or so players who will try to kill you anyways. But if you are in your own session here on your own, you will definitely have a little bit of an advantage, as you can load in very quick, as the game doesn't try to connect you to other people. I hope I explained that well. The thing is, yeah, this is much quicker than trying to load into a session with other people. So invite-only session is usually way better in that regard, especially if you want to do a lot of jobs back to back, and some point in between go back to free roam to do stuff, yeah. So yeah, so much about that. When it comes to other things that actually need free roam, for the most part, unless it's something very specific, which I will likely be talking about in a later episode, for the most part, there are options to go into a public session without other people, and that will be a lot easier to do stuff there than to actually go into a crowded session. So the way you get there, you need to look up on yourself. It's different for each platform, and I would never make a video really going into that kind of stuff, but just know it's out there. The information can be searched on with Google, and yeah, just try your luck, see what you can come up with. So yeah, that's some of the more basic tips, and I think that's already something very important. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Till then, bye bye.